Tim Reynolds with the AP. Brown, all the way back. Tim Reynolds with the AP. Brown, what's the last couple of days for you been like, just as you go through the process of resetting the body and the mind, and kind of along those lines? I know that, the numbers you put up so far in these playoffs, everyone's just sort of been gaga over them, but do you think there's still another level that you can get to in this series?
I think that's to be seen. But for the last, couple of days, obviously we was able to finish our series off on Sunday in Boston. Monday was Memorial Day, so I got an opportunity to stay home with the family, barbecue, have a cookout. Kids had a heck of a time. I had a heck of a time just kind of just relaxing and decompressing until 9 o'clock Eastern time until I started watching the game and seeing who we were going to play. Going against the Warriors, the last 3 years in the finals, I kind of figured or thought, that they could get it done just because of the 18 of possible 21 finals games that I've played against them in the last 3 years. I kind of figured that they would make it happen, just their championship DNA. So, and then yesterday, just a around-the-clock treatment. We had a workout before we left Cleveland. I got treatment on the 4.5-hour flight up here. We did a little prep yesterday. I got some more treatment, ate dinner. And I woke up this morning, worked out, like I always do. I got some more treatment and headed here to see you guys. So, the level that I can, play at is to be seen. But the level that I put into the game is, and put into my craft is who I am. So, numbers and things like that kind of take care of itself. But for me, I understand and I know how much I put into the game. So, everything else is okay.
Jeff, on your right.
Jeff Zilgett, USA Today. LeBron, you have 4 teammates who once played against you deep into the playoffs previously: Kyle, George, Kendrick, and Jeff. Did you ever envision playing on the same team as those guys at some point? Did you want to? And then the last part of that, what do you like about having Perk around?
I always, when you go against guys, you can envision that at times how they fit with you and what they could do for your team. Going against Kyle, I always kind of was like, oh wow, to add a sharpshooter like that to our ball club would be, an amazing thing. And obviously, our former GM David Griffin was able to pull that off and get him to us, and kind of the rest is history. What he's been able to do for our ball club. I've always loved George Hill, his length, and his ability to, put pressure on the defense, but also on the defensive side with his length. I've always kind of seen that, obviously, with the battles that we had with Indiana and going deep into the playoffs. Me and Perk, we've been playing against each other and with each other since high school. We played on a few, AAU circuits together when we played actually for the Oakland Soldiers out here. We played on the same team. And Jeff Green, I never envisioned, me, being a teammate of his. But I've always kind of had an aspiration for Jeff, especially, when he, went through the heart surgery and to see, the game be taken away from someone so young at that point in time. I was like, wow, this, a reset for me personally, too, to kind of just never take the game for granted, even though I never do. But it gives you an opportunity to kind of just, thank the situation that you're in. So it was always great, to compete against Jeff, especially after he was able to get back on the floor and just, not actually knowing exactly what he went through, because none of us can actually know unless we've been through that. But you can be inspired by it. So it's been great to have all 4 of them. To answer your last question, Perk's his leadership, his championship, not only pride, but his championship manner every day. He just brings a championship guy around every single day. And obviously, if you guys are out here, you guys hear from the Warriors all the time about what it means to be a championship person and to breathe and to talk and to speak that every single day. So for a lot of our guys that's kind of, went on to other teams or not a part of our team this year, it's great to have another championship guy in our locker room that can kind of, give some of the guys that's never been a part of it, some words of encouragement or some words of advice or what it takes to breathe a championship, mindset every single day. So he's been, he's been instrumental to us since we got him back at the start of the postseason.
Al on the left over here.
Hi, LeBron. El Sarasovic, San Francisco Chronicle. Is it good for the NBA to have the same two teams in the finals 4 years in a row?
Got to ask Adam Silver.
I mean, your thoughts?
What?
Well, there's been some blowback. There's a talk on social media that people are sick of the same matchup. I mean, do you feel like it would be better if there was more parity in the league?
Teams have had their opportunities to beat the Cavs over the last 4 years, and teams have had opportunities to beat the Warriors over the last 4 years. And if you want to see somebody else in the postseason, then you got to beat them.
Second row on your right.
Or in the finals in that case.
LeBron. Ryan Gorski, San Francisco Examiner. Andre Iguodala, obviously he's out. What has he done so well on you, or what have you noticed him doing on defense against you the last few years that's kind of making you take notice?
I think he's, first of all, he has very, very quick hands. That doesn't get talked about a lot. His ability to read and react to the ball, either in the flight or while you're dribbling or when you pick the ball up. But I mean, at the end of the day, his athleticism allows him to play some of the premier perimeter players in our league. I mean, he's a guy 6'8", long wingspan, athletic. He's been like that since he was at Arizona. And he's just added to his game every single, season he's been in the NBA. I've, played against him throughout my career, throughout his entire career since he got, to the league. And we was actually a funny story. We was actually in the draft when he got drafted. We was one pick away from drafting him before Philly took him. I believe 8 or 9, and then I think we selected Luke Jackson from Oregon. And I had loved him, at Arizona, and was hoping that he slid to us with that pick. But obviously, you guys like those stories, so that's why I gave it to you.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, you guys like stories like that.
Thanks.
Dave and Chris.
Dave McMenamin, ESPN. LeBron, Thursday is going to be the 101st game you've played in this regular season plus the postseason, the most you've ever done in that span of time. We've tried to get you kind of reflect on it before. I don't know if you will now, but is what you're doing, are you redefining what a prime is considered? Because, I mean, in basketball circles for years was, you hit 7 or 8 seasons in, 27 years old. That was kind of the traditional prime. But now you're 15 years in and age 33 and about to play more basketball than he's ever played in.
I think they've always kind of talked like the NBA prime is like, 27 to like 31, 32. And that's, if you're lucky, you get to that point. I don't know. I've just never really, bought into that. I've never bought into like a ceiling either. You guys always talk to me about, what's your ceiling, and I've always, kind of told you guys that I don't really have a ceiling. I want to just try to maximize, as much as I can, and be as good as I can. And I forgot. I'm not quite sure who I did a post-game interview after one of our games this year. I don't know if it was maybe Doris or. It was one of the great lady sideline reporters that we have that asked me, how do you feel and how are you still able to do this? And I told her that particular time, this is the best I felt in my career.
Yeah, it was Cassie Hubbard.
Okay, well, there it is. And I don't know if she believed me, and I don't know if you guys believe me, but I really felt that. And I continue to just play at an all-time level. Standard, for the rest of the season, and hopefully I can continue it, and in this finals, and also, I've been blessed to be available. That's what I take pride in more than anything, is being available to my teammates every single day, and I think I've missed 1 or 2 practices a day because it's just, when you live in Northeast Ohio. And you have 4 seasons, you will get sick. But I've been available for my teammates and been a leader to my teammates all year, and I've put in the work. And it's allowed me to be able to tomorrow suit up for the 101 consecutive time. And, you know, and if I'm fortunate, I can suit up for, what was that, 108? We'll see what happens.
And just quick follow up: does that best feeling still apply, even with Larry Nance falling into your leg and playing 94 minutes to close out Game 6 and 7?
Chris, last one on the left.
Chris Haynes, ESPN. Brock, a few years back, you used to talk about certain teams or certain players having cliff notes, will probably be cliff notes when your career is said and done and your possible book or whatnot. With this, the Warriors' time, tenure, how impactful or meaningful is this, I guess, series of rivalry with you and your career? How do you view them?
Listen, Golden State is one of the best teams I've ever played. It's one of the best teams that's ever been assembled. And then they added Kevin Durant. So what does that do to him? It even makes him even more dangerous and, even more powerful and great. And, and it's just, it's for me as a competitor, it's fun. It's truly fun. And to know when I'm done playing a game of basketball, to know I played against some of the greatest teams that ever played, ever been assembled. And this is one of them. You look at it, they got, 4 Hall of Famers on their team, and Clay, Dre, Steph, and KD. They got a Finals MVP that comes off their bench. They got a number one, draft pick, or I think what was Sean Livingston 1 or 2 or something when he came out and fought back, and and he comes off their bench. They got an all-star power forward and David West who comes off their bench. It's just like whoever they kind of suit up or whoever they decide to be a part of, what they got going on over here is just a really, really high IQ basketball player and know how to play the game of basketball. So, at what chapter will the LeBron versus Warriors fit into my book? I have no idea. That's for myself and whatever writer I decide to pick.
I'm available.
I was about to say, I know one of you guys would love to be. Probably could make a lot of money. But I mean, I don't know. Listen, I could sit here and say today that Golden State is they're a great team. They're a great team, and it's not even. I didn't even mention their head coach. I mean, their head coach is the one who kind of puts it all together, makes it all flow. To be able to, be able to put, egos in the right, position and spot on the floor where everybody feels, good about the outcome and things of that nature. That's when it comes to team sports, that's something that you hope that you could be a part of, where you got great guys that not only have great talent, but also practice the way exactly how you're supposed to practice it, then go on a game and play it that way. And I've been fortunate enough to be a part of, a few of those teams in my career, either from, NBA teams or Olympic teams, obviously. I don't know, Chris, I don't know where they will fall in my book, but they will have a nice chapter.
Thank you, LeBron.
All right.